Hey everyone, today we're going to go over some specialized ship builds and how to use them effectively in a fleet. So specialized ships are ships designed for use in a specific role. For example, we could do a small hull ship with fleet boosters in order to fill that last CP point and give a large boost to your fleet's speed or shields. Now you can come up with loads of different specialized ship designs. In this video though, I'm going to cover some of the more normal specialized builds and how to go about using them. Let's dive right in with a pretty straightforward one. Siege ships. Siege ships are any small or medium support hull that is just loaded up with siege modules. Really pack them in there because sieges can take forever otherwise. Normally I just build these with an engine module and then the siege modules, no armor or weapons. I want to pump these out and have them arrive at their targets quickly. By not having armor or weapons, I reduce the build times of these ships as well as reducing their build costs and upkeep. How many systems I can siege down at once is mainly determined by how many of these ships I can get off the production lines. So quickly building and low upkeep are essential to my siege builds. What if you don't have to siege? What if you don't want to siege? What if you like watching ground battles because you enjoy watching tedious cutscenes with almost no explosions and you like pixel art? Well, then you need something else. You need troop transports, my squirrely friends. So troop ships bring your soldiers to planets that need a really good conquering. Basically these are the same build as the siege ships, but instead of siege modules, you load it up with troop transport modules. Then you just throw soldiers at the enemy ground forces and you wipe them out rather than starving them out from above like a civilized player. Wait, but isn't starving terrible? Forget it, moving on. Fodder ships. Fodder ships are there to grab the enemy's attention and let your combat ships keep hammering away for a little while longer. Since the purpose of these ships is to just sit there and tank the enemy, I do put the best defenses I can on these guys. It is expensive to replace ships after all, lives are cheap. They also get slug weapons or fighters to deal with enemy fighters, bombers, or missiles. For this role I will use both small and medium support hulls, whichever fits better into my fleet composition. The main module for the ship though is the antimatter lenser. It gives a 10% chance to pull the enemy's fire at the ship that has it equipped. Thankfully, after each phase in the combat, it also repairs 15% of the damage dealt to the ship that is carrying it. You can also boost the repair of these ships with mods that repair the fleet after each phase or after each battle. The Riftborn have a Civ-specific mod that's really good at this. Both of these types of mods will help keep your fleet in fighting condition longer, which is the main objective of the fodder ship. I normally don't use these ships very often unless I have a lot of CP available to build with fleets late in the game. Even then, I only use them in my hunter-killer fleets that kind of roam around enemy territory while not really needing the speed and shielding bonuses of a fleet bonus ship. Speaking of the fleet bonus ship, fleet bonus ships. So this is more of a category of ships rather than a specific ship type. However, primarily these ships are used to boost the speed and shielding of the fleet as a whole. There are other mods that can give bonuses to all ships in the bonus ship lane, for example, the titanium shrapnel that increases crew damage. Even a small support hull can typically fit 2 speed and 2 shielding mods, which dramatically speeds up your fleet and gives it a little more HP for the fight. These ships are usually mixed into a combat fleet due to the shielding bonuses. If I need to prioritize response time or create a quick hitting fleet, then I would even use a medium support hull or multiple small bonus ships just decked out with the fleet speed mods. You can save on the cost of these ships by not equipping them with weapons, but I suggest giving them at least the slug weapon so they can have some fleet defense from missiles as well. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll have noticed that I mentioned slug weapons a lot. How about a ship built around their use as defensive support weapons? This type of specialization is what I call a defensive carrier. It's a bit unique in that it can be mixed with some of the other previous builds that we've just spoken about. That's because this ship uses slug weapons and fighters to help protect the fleet against missiles and bombers. These use weapons/squadron slots and leave your support slots open to use for another purpose. This ship is also unique in that you can use a large hull in a supportive role that way. Bombers are a pain because they can do a lot of damage to your fleet across all lanes, and missiles suck because they can hit you outside your fleet's effective range. Having a defensive carrier gives your fleet some ability to protect against those types of threats. That is not all of the specialized ships designs I would like to get to, but that covers at least the support specialized ship builds, because this video is starting to run a little longer than I would like. So that's all for today, but check back soon for the specialized combat ships. In that video we will cover snipers, missile boats, carriers, planet destroyers, and more. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on specialized support ships in the comments below. I love having conversations about the strategy topics and maybe other types of specialized ships that you guys come up with. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with my future videos, and good luck in your adventures in Endless Space 2.